Hello, family and friends. We are going to talk about reviews. It applies to many of the courses that have been taken. Especially, it works well for anything involves with a motor skill. Okay, so if you are taking a math course, this will work too. So let's dive into it. Why do we need to review? First, we want to save time when we learn, because review is not only strengthen our memory. It will save a lot of time because we can just keep learning a new material without relearn what has been taught. Not only that, it will give us a more steady progress. You're going to see yourself improve a lot by spending extra time in review. And also, you're going to see what you really need to work on when you review, because we are not AI, we don't remember everything, right? So when we review, you will see their weaknesses and the strengths that you have. And it's a good way to understand ourselves too. So let's talk about when to review. This is critical. The day you had a lesson or lecture, you must review that day, no matter what. So this is important. Let's say you have a lesson or lecture before lunch. Let's say 11 o'clock. It ends at 11. Now, what I would do is right after lunch, I take a serious review. Then you review at 1 o'clock, you still have a 6-7 hours before you go into bed. So right after dinner, you review again. But this review, you have to take it very serious. You don't just skim through. You really have to recall what the teacher said, what the instructor said, what went wrong, what went well. Okay, so let's say your lesson ends at 6 p.m. Now, this time you only review one time before you sleep. So 6 p.m. the class is over, and then you have a dinner, whatever. Let's say 8 o'clock you are done with this. Then from 8 to 8:30 or whatever time you need it, you really have to commit it to review. And for children too, parents have to help children to establish a routine to review. Many people, they are very talented and they can do better in school and everything. Why not, right? So the situation is many times people don't review because they see no point of doing that. But once you start doing that, you're going to see it's way easier to study anything. Okay, now about the last point, periodically you have to review. What does that mean? I personally, and I have done a lot of research, I review within 24 hours. Sometimes it's not feasible, especially if you are adult student. So what I do is I put my book, like I have my book opened in my lunch room, like in my dining room. So, when I sit down after dinner, at least I can just take a look, right? Because if you keep the notebook in a drawer, chances are you're going to bypass that. So you want to do yourself a favor. Get the notebook out and then it's opened to that page. So all you have to do is lift your finger, take a look, okay? Now, if let's say you are a younger student, you are like a grade 3, grade 4. So parents will have to schedule a review time together. This is very, very important, and it applies to every subject, because if you don't review, it's not only you forget, you're going to find learning whatever they are teaching the upcoming topic is going to be a struggle for you. So try to review within 24 hours, but I don't practice daily. So let's say I have a serious competition coming up, I still practice, but I only do 5 days a week. It's just like we going to the gym. We need to give our brain a break. So during those 2 days off, I don't review. Like my brain, I just let it totally break. I do nothing during those 2 days, nothing to do with music, whatever you are taking. And then, like the day I came back from the break, I review first, then I practice. You're going to find that very helpful. Now we are going to talk about how to review. This is important. So what I do personally, this applies to both like a math math course and piano lessons. They are almost the same, but one is more motor skill. So what I do is like I will write down what I remember. Even in the music lesson, I will write down, like my teacher would say, oh, like my left hand was too strong, was too loud, or like I was too fast, like the tempo is inconsistent, whatever. So I will try to recall what went wrong and what went good. During this recall period, if you have a note, you can compare, you can look at your note, right, and you say, okay, so this is my mistake, okay, this part went well. So you go through this mentally, so you already went through in your head, right? Now also because you're just writing down what you remember, there are stuff that you don't remember. Chances are there are something that you don't remember. That's okay. So what I do is, when I done to writing down on the like a piece of a paper, I check my answer or the score that the teacher marked on or on my math homework book. Then I find out what is missing, that what I didn't do well, and I have a highlighter. I usually use only 3 colors, but in terms of a review, I only use highlighter and a pencil. So whatever I don't remember, I highlight it on my sheet. Then I go over it again to try to make myself understand, like why I'm missing that part, and what is the consequence if I miss that part that I highlighted. And then I try to go over it to make sure I understand everything. Then I get a new piece of a sheet out, but I'm not writing it down first. I go over the notes that I had very seriously, slowly. Then after this review, I write it down on the blank paper. Then that way I can really see how to adjust myself. That way you will see what it's really learned and what is being missing. So the missing part, we want to not just to memorize it, because if we just memorize, chances are you will not stay very long. So you want to make some association or understanding, like try to ask yourself, okay, if I miss this part, what will happen? Or like if I do this wrong here, what will happen? So that way, it makes sense to you. It will stay with your head longer. Okay, so that's how I do the review. And thank you for this lesson. And I also include 30-day like a progress tracking sheet, so you can use that to track your progress. It's very important. I always do this and it always help. Okay, thank you for watching. See you next time and happy learning.